I just got to see this brand new film coming from writer-director Jesse Eisenberg. I love Jesse Eisenberg, but it's his brand new film called A Real Pain. This is, of course, a film starring himself and, of course, Kieran Culkin, who is famous for being in Succession. One of my favorite characters in that show, playing Rome. Yeah, he is in this movie playing Jesse Eisenberg's cousin. There are these two cousins who are of Jewish descent. Their grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and she had recently passed away, and they are traveling together on this trip, this week-long trip, to Poland, to tour Poland, see all the Holocaust sites, see a bunch of other historical sites, and just kind of come together. This is a road trip movie at its heart. It is just these two sort of cousins who are really brothers traveling this country, dealing with their crap, and it very much feels like an Alexander Payne film if you've seen any of his work. This is very much akin to something like that. It's a film that is very character-centric. It's focusing on these two characters and the amazing performances they're pulling out, as well as really well-written scenes and dialogue, set in a location that is just full of stories and, well, pain, which is kind of the point of the whole movie. There's a lot about this movie that I really, really loved. First things first, Kieran Culkin. He plays one of the cousins, of course, this guy who's a little bit of a loose thread. He's a little bit wild and crazy because there's a lot of pain behind him and a lot of sort of disappointment at life behind him. He's this guy who's extremely charming, extremely charismatic, but he almost ruins every situation he's in because he's this self-destructive figure. And Kieran Culkin does such an amazing job in this movie. This is an Oscar-worthy performance. It's one of the best supporting performances of the year by far. He is such a powerhouse in this film, and my biggest fear after watching the trailers for this thing was that he was going to be too much Rome, right? Kieran Culkin is one of those actors where I've always thought, while watching Succession, I don't know how this dude is going to do outside of this TV show, because he plays such a great character in that show but that character of Rome is just so much of Kieran Culkin's personality too, that I feel like it might be one of those things where every movie he does, he's just Rome. And it sort of looked like that from the trailer, but no, he really sets himself apart and creates this new character that is charming and is funny and does have some of those Rome quirks, but at no point in this film was I watching him and I ever mistaken the fact that he was not playing Rome from Succession. He is this entirely different thing, and because of that, I have to applaud how great Kieran Culkin is here. He is absolutely terrific in crafting this extremely different character while keeping all of the things that Kieran Culkin does so well in a character. Being funny, being kind of out there and charismatic, but in this movie, he's even sort of just uncomfortable at times. There's a lot of scenes and a lot of sequences where he says and he does things that just make you sort of cringe and feel like you want to close your eyes and roll up into a ball. Like, it's sort of crazy how weird and awkward this guy is, while also being just a ball of energy. He's so much fun to watch, and his character, both thematically and story-wise, just makes up what this movie really works best as, which is this study of pain and the study of loneliness, and it's really incredibly done. Jesse Eisenberg is also incredible in this film. I don't know if this is my favorite role of his because he's just had such an amazing career, and I love everything that he does here, but he does have a few standout scenes that I thought were incredible. Of course, he plays the cousin who is a little more kind of closed off, right? He, like everybody else, feels pain. He feels disappointment and depression, but he's able to mask it better because he has a family, he has a job, he has all these things, and he has to keep trucking along in life. And a lot of the aspects with his character are done extremely well. And the way him and Kieran Culkin's character contrast and also relate to each other, this sort of bromance that they have, but also this sort of bro-hatred that they have, is so well done, and as it develops throughout the film, and the reasons for why they sort of treat each other, and figuring out what their backgrounds are, and what their childhood looked like, it's all well worth the wait, and Jesse Eisenberg pulls his weight performance-wise. He also pulls his weight direction-wise, because this is a beautiful movie visually. I don't think this movie's going to win any, like, cinematography awards, but definitely capturing the essence of Poland is really well done. He understands how to use the camera to create this environment that these two characters are existing in. While they're dealing with their own shit, they're in a place that has been through some shit. When they're going through the towns of Poland that still have the Soviet-type architecture, when they're going through the concentration camps of the Holocaust, there's a real sort of story being told in the surroundings of these characters while they're experiencing their own story, and it really is powerful at times. This movie's absurdly funny, let me just put it that way, but it's a movie that's trying to make you laugh, but also trying to make you cry at the same time, which a lot of movies do, obviously. It's an easy thing for most comedies to do, if you really want to talk about comedies, but this is a movie that really tries to pull at both. But it's a movie that will make you laugh in a scene, and then by the end of the scene, you realize you were kind of laughing at something that maybe was really traumatic for one of the characters, right? It's one of those scenes, it doesn't make you feel guilty for finding something funny. That's not what I'm trying to mean or trying to explain here without spoiling stuff, but it's a movie that just, it puts these scenarios together with this charismatic character who's doing these outwardly funny things and saying these ridiculous and outrageous stuff, and you're laughing, but when you realize what this character actually is, and why he does some of the things he does. Sometimes it feels like, maybe I shouldn't have been laughing. That's kind of fucked up. And it's really, this movie just really works from top to bottom. It's a really special film that I think should be talked about more at the end of the year when it comes to award season. There are some aspects of it I don't love. I definitely think the third act sort of falls off slightly, not fully. I think the ending, it definitely lands the plane. The ending of this film and the final shot are brilliant, but I just think that third act, I didn't love it as much as I loved the second act of this film, which was just so energetic, so incredibly fun, fast-paced, and just the performances were incredible. This movie's only an hour and a half long. I was going to say maybe you can cut a little bit of time off this movie, but it really is short to begin with. But overall, I believe this is second or third directorial film from Jesse Eisenberg, this is a really fantastic film, and I had a great time with it. I will give A Real Pain a 4 out of 5 and a strong recommendation to go check this out. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.